Did you start from basically nothing with e-commerce, or did you already have prior knowledge?
Something about me and my personality is like I love selling. When I still was in school, I went to the flea market. I looked for stuff, bought it, and sold it higher on eBay.
I sold a lot of suits. We were selling high-end bespoke suits. It was like 3K up towards 10K per suit. And all of these guys came up with the Porsche, came up with the Aston Martin, and I was just dropping monthly salaries like it's nothing. This is why most people fail. Most people stop. A business, a school, a relationship is all because of the mindset. They live in emotion instead of living in abundance. What I tell a lot of people is trust the process. But what does it really mean for you, for example? What does trusting the process mean? Welcome to the podcast. For those of the viewers that don't know you, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Kevin Broom. I'm 20 years old. I come from Germany. Originally, my parents are from Togo in West Africa. I'm doing Ecom now for over 1.5 years and happy to be here today.
Happy to have you, man. Where did you all start out as an entrepreneur? Did you start with Ecom, or what did you do prior to Ecom?
Yeah, so my journey is quite like a roller coaster a little bit, because I went to university and I studied marketing and digital media in Germany, because like after university, I always knew I want for sure to become an entrepreneur, but I was not sure what exactly I want to do, right? So that's why marketing seemed to be for me like interesting to understand the psychology, like, why do people buy stuff? Why do companies advertise it, and how do they do it successfully? So like with my whole goal with like this university was like to get as much knowledge as possible to then like build a business. While I was like in uni with some friends, I tried here, left and right some things, but nothing worth mentioning, small stuff, nothing that blew up. And then I finished university and I had my first full-time job. And that was the moment where I was like...
What was the job?
It was in the marketing agency. And in the marketing agency, I was responsible to campaigns for like clients. And, but I felt like this is not my world. Being told what to do, asking my boss if I can take day off or something like that. And that's why I was looking for paths, how to start a business, and one thing led to the other thing. Then I discovered dropshipping and then Ecom, and now I'm here where I'm at today.
Sick story. Yeah. Tell me, did you start from basically nothing with e-commerce, or did you already have prior knowledge, or how did you get into e-commerce?
So with e-commerce, it was quite interesting because that was not the very first business that I started. It was like crypto. A little bit, because while I was in this job, I was looking for quick ways how to make money.
Yeah, crypto.
Yeah, and crypto is it's crazy from 0 to 100 how fast things can happen. I don't know, do you know NFTs?
Yeah, heard of it. Yeah. Never did it myself, but...
Yeah, so in 2020, 2021, I was discovering NFTs. There was these crypto pictures, and I heard somebody said oh, I saw this crypto picture for 6 figures.
Sick.
And I was I need to figure this out, what this is, and that's how I discovered it. I made some. It took me 1 week or so, or 2 weeks to understand how everything works, and I made some stupid money with crypto, with these NFTs, but I also lost it very quickly. It was a roller coaster. Within the 6 months in crypto, I made in total, almost 6 figures at my highest. But then I lost almost everything, and this is where I was the crypto is not for me.
Okay.
And when I was looking at the second business path, I saw e-commerce, and I was e-commerce is something I want to do. I had a coaching before that I learned a couple of stuff in, It was okay, but I got like some basics. And like after 6 months of the first coaching, I discovered millionaire commerce. And this is where like I scaled like very quickly, but healthily to quit my job and now being full in ecom basically.
Cool story. When you joined the coaching, how fast was it for you? And at what point did you join the coaching? Did you at the store? Did you already do some revenue, or was it like basically from 0 to 10? How was that process?
Yeah, so for me it was due to the fact that I was already in a coaching. I had like already a store doing like 1K days.
Okay.
And back then it was like a lot for me. Like,
Sure.
of course, like making 1,000 euro a day, even if it's only revenue, it was still like so much money coming in. So I was grateful for that, but I knew this is not it. Like I knew like there's so much more to like gain from ecom. So that's why I joined Millionaire Commerce, because I saw like other people, how they're like sharing results of like 5,000 per day, 10,000 per day, 17,000 per day. For me, it was just like inspiring seeing other people left and right doing these numbers. And that's why, without thinking too much, the crypto investment that I made, the little that like still was left over, I was like, I'm gonna invest it in this course. And then like I was able to scale from 1K day to 10K days within my first week.
Sick.
Yeah.
And all to coaching advice.
Yes.
Amazing.
In 7 days.
Amazing.
And from there, like the journey was up and downs, of course, but overall, like I grew into like the entrepreneur I'm in today.
Cool. If you can summarize the 3 months of coaching, what was the most valuable thing you learned? I know it's a lot, but
Yes.
if you can summarize it in a couple of sentences.
If I could summarize the top 3 things that I learned from coaching, it's number 1, it's really being on top of everything. Because like when you are like seeing so much money coming in, it is easy to just like look at the numbers at the Shopify dashboard and feeling like a king. But like later on, like with the back end, everything, customer support, like you see like how much actually you're losing afterwards. So like really being on top of everything. So like controlling everything, the supplier, the quality, the finances, the team, is something that the coaching learned me. And that's why like it's not only about like, okay, here, let's scale quickly, but it's also really growing into an entrepreneur. So that's number 1 thing that I learned. The second thing, what I would say is like patience, because like when you see like so many people doing like these crazy numbers for you, you want these results immediately. But like sometimes you just have to be patient. And that is what I learned. Like, okay, you know it is possible, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
When it's gonna happen, it's fine. As long as you're patient, as long as you're confident that it's gonna happen, this is like all that you need, whether it's like 1 week or like 3 months. So this is what I learned. And the third is like how important the network is.
Yeah.
I would say, I would even put this as number 1, to be honest. Like having people who are like-minded as you, who you can connect with, who you can share ideas with, is for me like the most important or beautiful thing that I got out of this.
Yeah, I completely understand, and I completely agree because without network, you're just a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And with a network, you can grow so fast, and you can learn so much that you cannot do in your own. So yeah, network is everything.
Yeah, and you feel like at some point like this lonely wolf type of thing.
Everybody was it at one certain point.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, right? But like it is so much nicer if you're like with other lonely wolves, basically, because they're also like on their own path. They have their own like goals and desires, but you are still like in like, it feels like you're on the same car, in the same ship.
The same vision. Going to the same goal.
Exactly.
And you share resources, you share ideas, knowledge, and you motivate each other. I think to come back to the top 3, the networking and not having the lonely wolf vibe, it's one of the most important. And of course, if you start, you're alone. But along the way, you can connect with so many different people, so many new people. For example, now we're sitting here.
Yeah.
1 year ago, we didn't know each other, right? So I can grow so much from just networking. It's an amazing one.
Yeah.
But okay, you was very successful in your coaching period. What happened after that? Because now you are a coach, but how was the transition from a student to a coach? Was it a whole different thing that you needed to learn?
Oh yeah. That was like for sure like very different, because like when you are like your own entrepreneur and you're doing your own store, I mean, you know your why, you know why you're doing it and all of that, but it's a completely different like thing to actually teach it to somebody.
Yeah.
Because for you, like, I don't know how it was for you. Maybe you can share it also like in a little bit, but for me, it was like everything that I did seemed obvious. Like, for me, it seems obvious when I was a student that I'm gonna wake up before my job, right? From 4 a.m. to like 7 a.m. to work, then have my full-time job, and after my job immediately eat and then like continue work. So for me, I was already like, it was for me normal. Of course I do that. Mm-hmm. But then I was very shocked when like I got my first students and I was like, yeah, teaching them the obvious things. And like many people were like, yeah, they were not putting in the action. So I understood that like everyone comes from a different like position. Everyone comes from a different, background. Everyone has a different why. And for me, it took like a little bit time to really pick up the brain of the student and try to understand like why you are doing what you're doing, or why are you not doing what you're doing. So it is not only like the skill that I then learned, like, okay, I know Ecom, I know how to scale a store, but it's more about like understanding the human that I'm working with, because like being a coach is like really a human business, right? You are like somebody that's, you're a trust person. Somebody is like, hey, I'm trusting you that you are helping me with my goal. So it is not enough only to understand like the basic Ecom stuff, but really understand the human for you.
It is a whole new skill that you need to learn to become a coach and to understand why people think the way they're thinking, right? So yeah, I 100% agree with that. I coach you as a coach. What were the things you learned from me, what you implemented in your coaching way of your coaching style?
Yeah, one thing, the biggest thing I can say that I learned is like your whole demeanor, like before the call with a student. Because like one thing, since you're my coach, you're always calm.
Yeah.
Like you're always so calm. Like no matter like how much is going on with your business, with your own like easy scale and all of that, when we have a call, you're always very calm. You take the time and you're very patient, right? So you seem like always to be like a person that like, oh, when I don't know further what to do, Luca is there, like he can give me like a solution, right? So like this whole energy type of thing that you give is like something that I implement also like with my students. That I know like if my student is right now stressed and they're waiting for like the call with me for a week, and I also am stressed because like I got like a mail from Shopify, they're holding my money, and I'm like very like angry or stressed, and I also like enter the call with this energy. It's not gonna lead to anywhere. They're just gonna be like, I thought like we can think of a solution, but my coach is like himself like somewhere else. So like having the ability to like take some moment, like even if it's 5 minutes before your call, to be like, hey, okay, whatever is going on, forget it now, calm down, or even show us active energy, whether you're tired or not. It's like, I would say the biggest thing that like, I learned from you. So I have no idea how you are doing it, because I know like Easy Scale is crazy big. So maybe you can also share like how you managed to do that.
Showing up every single call with the right energy is, I think, one of the top 3 things that you need to do. Maybe the first thing to do, because in the end, the people across the camera doesn't know the whole story. They don't know what is going on, for example, in your Shopify or in your team or in your personal life. But you need to give the value that is up appropriate for that moment. If they have a question or they have a problem, you just need to together figure it out. And being stressed in a call, need to hurry in a call, I don't like it if I'm a student or whatsoever. And there is no real result, right? Giving your time, giving your energy, and making sure that it's valuable for both parties. That's the most important thing. And how I manage it with all the things we are doing, just do it. Simple. You just do it. And there is no real guideline to how you become a successful entrepreneur. That's the same with you. There's no real way to do it. You just do it, and you learn every single day from obstacles or from moments. But yeah, basically like that. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Like, as you said, like it's about like showing up every single day and knowing that like when somebody schedules a call with you, that they're looking for your like guidance right now. So you just also have to have like the discipline, I would say, to be like, okay, whatever I'm going through right now, whether I'm tired, whether I'm stressed, like to be like, okay, I'm gonna be disciplined at least for like 30 minutes or 1 hour, how long the call is, to focus on that person, and then like move on with like whatever's like going on.
Yeah, 100% agree. More Ecom related, what are you doing right now in Ecom? Are you more doing more dropshipping, more branded? What is you as a coach at the moment, or you as an entrepreneur? What are you on a daily basis are doing right now?
Yeah, so I'm already like into ecom / dropshipping for now over a year, right? A year, 1.5 years. So I'm doing right now the transition from like the dropshipping, general dropshipping, I would say, to branded, because like in every area aspect in life, there are new levels that you want to reach. And like when you do something over and over and over again, it becomes a little bit plain. It becomes like black and white. And like, this is how I feel with general dropshipping. It is like a very good path to make money, to learn so much. And I still like general dropshipping, but like the process of building a brand where you have to think more deep about like, who's my customer actually? Why are they buying what they are buying? Am I solving a problem? All these type of things are like more in alignment what I actually learned in university with marketing, right? Yeah. I can now use like the knowledge that I have from like marketing now in like in combination with my ecom knowledge. So that's why right now I'm focusing more on building a brand. I still have like one general store live right now, but it's going to be my last one. And then like I'm fully doing the transition to actually build brands. Because I mean, let's be honest, I have no idea why a customer bought like this t-shirt or this sandal, right? Yeah. They just bought it because I saw it somewhere else working, and then I sold it. But like now actually doing the research and understanding why would a customer buy this and what problem I'm solving is so much more interesting. And that's why like I'm going now this path.
And you learn so much more by thinking about a persona or the brand or the marketing or why people buy things. It's all, in the end, it's all giving people a reason to buy, right? Creating a good offer, creating a strategy, a marketing strategy. I think it's both are perfectly fine, but there's so much potential in e-commerce themselves. Getting a little bit more into how did we as EasyScale help you to scale your stores? What were, of course, we provide the ad account, Meta, Google, TikTok, but what were the things that you thought was very valuable from your end?
Yeah, so there are many, I would say, like agencies out there, right, who provide like the service of like, well, we're giving you an ad account and like this is the price and all of that. But like one thing where I, for example, chose EasyScale, not only because like, of course I know you or something like that, it's like, it's an investment in like a business, because like how I am investing in team members, in structures and people that I can see myself using long term. For me, also like with agencies, whether it's, I have, for example, a customer service agency, I need to make sure that I can technically work with this agency, not only for this period, but for many years.
Yeah.
And what makes Easy Scale, in my opinion, just like the choice where I'm like, okay, I'm with Easy Scale, is just the fact that like I see consistently growth of the agency. Because like if it's only about like, if I would have made the decision only based on price or which agency is like cheaper, I would maybe choose somebody else. But like knowing that like, okay, I'm choosing like an agency that is like consistently improving based on like the top ups that you are currently changed, like that is like 24/7 basically, and like the vision that you guys have. I know like I feel more secure in like working there with Easy Scale. Also like my students, than like with any other agency where I don't technically know what they're doing in the back end, right? Or I don't know if they're even gonna exist like 1 year from now on. And like this is like, I believe like as an entrepreneur, the worst thing that you can have is always this uncertainty, switching new partners, switching new employees and all of that.
It costs a lot of time and a lot of money.
Exactly, man. I'm too lazy for that. Yeah. Like always looking for something new. So I love to just have like one thing that I'm like, oh, I trust this partner, employee, agency, whatever, that I can know like, okay, for the next years I'm with them. And this is like what Easy Scale is for me.
Yeah, I think you set the right point. It is the partnering up with, right? Yeah. And that's the thing. We invest in the partnership. It's a benefit from you as a customer, but also a benefit from us, right? As the agency. The deeper we are connected, the more we can scale together. It's always a win-win. Mm-hmm. It's not a win only for, and it doesn't matter which company you have. It's always the client and the business that are winning together. Otherwise, it is not how it should be. So, how are we gonna help you with your brand, for example? Because you will now start more branded stores. I think you will do more omni-channel, right? A little bit more Google, a little bit more TikTok, maybe Microsoft ads, Meta, of course.
Yeah.
How will you schedule all of this? Because it's a lot of different platforms, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, since I have my most knowledge and experience in Meta, for me, it is gonna be certain that I'm gonna start with Meta again.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I feel like you also have to pay attention to not fall into this shiny object syndrome, because there's so many stuff out there. As you said, Google, Meta, TikTok, and all of Pinterest, all of them together. But I want to really do it step by step. I want to master my brand with Meta first, and then slowly by the time adding Google. Oh. Then once Google is there, adding TikTok. And like, again, this is what I already mentioned. The fact that I know like I don't have like a new partner for every other channel. And I know like once I reach the stage where I want to open a new channel up, that I know I already have like a partner that can provide for me like the Google platform or the TikTok platform, makes my life way easier, other than if I would be like, oh guys, in my network, what should I do for Google? What should I do for TikTok? So that's why for me, it's just important to have like one partner that I know like they basically do everything, what I need. But this is basically my plans. Do it everything step by step instead of putting everything in one basket and do it once.
Solid. Looks like a really good plan.
Yeah.
Curious how the next year will look like. I definitely will see you, and I think also the viewers will be updated throughout the whole way.
They will.
You're quite a successful entrepreneur already. How do you schedule your day? Because I think a lot of viewers will think, hey, well, I'm just starting out, first business. I'm still in school, right? I'm still with a full-time job. How? Because also you were at a full-time job. Yeah. Myself was in. How do you schedule a day to become successful in something? Do you find it difficult, or do you have like a routine, like from 7 I go to the gym and from 8 I do this? What does your day look like?
I can tell you that very transparently. Like, for me, I will always thought like I sit on a Sunday one day and then I make the perfect plan, right? The perfect, I go to the gym this day at the time, and then I'm going to eat at the time, and all of this. All of this took me so long until I found my right routine.
Because the perfect routine is for everyone different.
Yes, exactly. Because I would talk to you, you would maybe go to the gym like early in the morning, it would work for you. Some other would say like, I'm going to the gym in the evening, right? And for me, it's like, I tried everything. I tried all type of schedules, and I did it like every week basically. And then for me, it was like, okay, how does it feel, or how productive was I when I had like schedule A this week, and on a Sunday I would reflect like, oh yeah, I felt like when I would go to the gym in the morning, little energy afterwards because I was too tired, and maybe I should go in the evening and so on. But now I arrived to a point where I would say like, the way I schedule my day is like, I wake up usually between 5 and 6 a.m. And then like the first 2 hours of the day is really without work, like no laptop or anything like that. This is where I really just want to take the time for myself, being very mindful. What do I mean with that? I take a shower, then like morning walks, I meditate, I read, all of these type of things that usually people say like, I don't have time for reading. I'm so busy. I don't have time to take a walk. I make sure that the biggest priority is myself first. And then I start like with the business stuff, right? And this is like what I found for me, like the biggest learning in terms of routine, what helped me the most, like prioritizing myself, that I make sure that my engine basically is warmed up before then I target like the world. Because the moment like my laptop is open, I have 1,000 WhatsApp messages, 1,000 mails and all of that. And like I noticed for me personally, when I had also a routine where I used to wake up and immediately open the laptop. But like then you start your mail, like your day completely uncontrolled. Like it is basically like throwing a dice and being like, okay, am I gonna open like the laptop and it's gonna be negative stuff or positive stuff? Yeah. Is the Shopify dashboard gonna be good or bad, right? And depending on that, like my whole mood will change. Yeah. But when I already decide and take time, like, okay, like I'm calm today. I took like 1 or 2 hours right now to be really calm, be confident and all of that. And then I open my laptop, then I'm in more control over like, what direction the day will take. And this is like currently the perfect routine for me. So taking like the 1 to 2 hours in the beginning of the day, have deep work session up until like 1 p.m. Then in the afternoon, I go to the gym. Then I have like the whole afternoon for my students and coaching stuff. And then in the evening, again, like some work. And this is how I finish my day then.
Solid routine.
But how is your routine? Like, I would also like love to know that actually.
It was similar. Like, I don't open my phone. I don't open the laptop. I go to the gym first, like a couple of months ago. But it's so different because I think they're all phases. And at the moment, I just wake up and I immediately, I have like a cortisol level that just rise up, right? And I just need to start grabbing my phone and it will immediately start. Mm-hmm. How's the team? How is this? How is that? How is the things from yesterday? And that's just how I start immediately. I don't eat breakfast. I skip that completely. I go to the gym. I try to go every time to the gym, but it doesn't work always. Or I play padel. Amazing to start the day with. But still, when I'm in the gym or I play padel, I'm still checking my phone. I'm working. From that moment, I go to the office. We start here. How's it with everyone? A little bit of people management. How are you feeling? This, that, blah, blah, blah. Immediately into deep work. Mm-hmm. And deep work can vary 2 hours, 4 hours, depends on the to-dos for that day. Afternoon, some calls, not a lot of calls. I try to minimize my calls. I notice when you do, and I think you have it also, if you do between 4 and 6 calls, then you're toast, right?
Nah, man, I hate that.
Maximum 4 calls a day, maybe 5, but not more than that. In the evening, still a lot of calls or meetings or whatsoever. And to be completely honest, bro, from the moment I start the day to the moment I stop the day, it's all work.
Yeah.
I love it. It's not for everyone. It's my routine at the moment. I certainly don't insist anyone to do like a 24/7, like always work. But that's what I am doing right now. We're building so much new stuff, so much new implementation, so much new technology, software, partner meetings, podcast, traveling. Last time we were in Dubai. You just do a lot of stuff. I try to be as productive as possible and use every single moment in a day to work and to make stuff happen. I think that's also the reason that we move so fast, because we don't, on a random Tuesday, we stop at 12 p.m. and just sit on the balcony or whatsoever, right? That is not how we want to do things. So that is my routine.
But this is like, I love that you say that for you, for example, you say like you wake up with work and you end the day with work. One thing that I notice, regardless of what routine you have or like any other entrepreneur have, you have to be a little bit crazy in order to be an entrepreneur. Because I would say like many people are listening to what you are saying, or maybe also what I'm saying, and like this, they sound like AI. Like, what is this day? Like, where's like the fun or anything like that? But would you say like it is giving you fun? Like,
it gives me fulfillment.
Yeah,
100%,
exactly.
because we see immediately results. If you have a team meeting and somebody in your team is not feeling okay or not really happy, and after the meeting she or he is happy, it gives immediate results. If you implement a new software or a new workflow, you see results, right? And that gives fulfillment. And I think that's the thing, right? If you want to perform in high level, and I think every entrepreneur will have it, you need to be a little bit crazy, that's true, but you need to have a clear vision. You need to know where you want to go, because without knowing where you want to be, or the real goals, or the real vision, or the real why you're doing stuff, you cannot do it. You cannot work, you can maybe work 6-7 days straight, but not a year straight, or 2 years, or let's say more than that. So having a clear vision, having goals, having a why, a purpose. Well, I wouldn't do anything else than what I'm doing right now. I'm totally where I need to be at this moment in my life. So I like it, and of course it will not be for everyone. But that's also the thing. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. That I do believe. But 100%. Everyone can do it. That's the truth. Anyone can do it. You just need to have a why and a vision and goals, and then it's doable.
This is like very important that you mentioned that like anyone can do it, but it doesn't mean like anyone should do it.
Exactly.
This is so important. That's why I also see like these are like the people that fail the most of the time, because like the vision, the more clear it is, the more likely you are to succeed in the vision. Because many have like, for example, the vision to be free or to have a lot of money. And there are so many paths on how you can get there. And when you just choose the first best thing that comes across your path, like, oh, it's Ecom, then you will not stick into that particular path because you're just driven by motivation and not by a real vision. Because the moment Ecom does not work for you, like immediately, you're just going to be like, okay, I'm going to switch to something else. And then you're going to be like, oh, I saw something else that can bring me money. Or like, I now saw a video about like AI is the future. I'm going to build an AI company. And then you're going to see like a social media agency. And this is where I see like most people just bounce from one thing to the other thing. But like when you have a clear vision that is also in alignment with who you are, then like this is where you gonna stay in one path, Ecom, for example, for a long time. Because I don't know if I'm gonna do Ecom until I die, but I know like for the next years, five years minimum, I'm gonna stay in Ecom, if not even 10 years. Because like, you also asked this in the beginning, like how I also discovered Ecom, to go quickly back on that. something about me and my personality is like, I love selling. I really love selling stuff. So like before I did even like real business, crypto, or like far before that, what I did always like in my free time, like when I still was in school to earn like more money, is like I went actually to the flea market, and then I bought really like, I looked for like stuff and like I bought it for like cheap price and sold it higher on eBay. I was basically like doing like
Drop shipping.
yeah,
But then, okay, then.
in a small way. But like I really like, for example, I knew like I love like Pokemon cards and these type of Mario games and Nintendo games. I saw that, oh, okay, for €10, like this is a good deal. And I would go do some pictures, have my like description, and I would upload it and sell it for €50. €100 sometimes. And this is like how I already started. So like when I then discovered dropshipping through like YouTube, it was very natural for me. It didn't feel like something weird. It was like just what I already like doing, but on a bigger scale, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why like it is very important for everyone to know like you can do anything that you want, but like just be aware of what is your vision and is it also in alignment with who you truly are.
I completely agree with, because selling is, I think, one of the most fun things to do because it gives instant results, right?
Yeah.
You convince someone to buy something from you. So it's immediately reward, and it's so fulfilling to sell stuff, right? I think a lot of people that are in whatever business area did a sales job in the past, because I think it's fundamental of being a good business.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool story from the flea market. Yeah.
I was always like a little hustler.
yeah, but you need to be, because in the end, everything works around selling a product or a service or a course or whatever the thing is. Even the crypto guys are selling a dream. Right? Or the NFT, you're selling concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I sold a lot of suits. That was the selling thing that I did. We were selling high-end bespoke suits. It was like minimum 3K up towards 10K per suit. And for me, that was not the first entrepreneurial stuff that I did, but I saw a lot of, because if you can buy these kind of products, you are an entrepreneur, because otherwise you cannot buy these kind of things.
Yeah.
And all of these guys came up with the Porsche, came up with the Aston Martin, or the nicer things in life, and I was just dropping monthly salaries like it's nothing, right? Then I thought, okay, that way is what I need to do. And from that moment, I started an agency, then e-commerce, and then a brand, and again drop shipping, and now back again to the agency. So yeah, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But it starts like all with the same foundation, with like, no matter like in what niche, you have to have like some desire to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And this is like what we all have in common, or most people who are in Ecom have in common. They have like in the past, as you said, some history with selling. Otherwise, like you will not really enjoy it. And then you will, as I mentioned, you will probably like lose interest and like just move on to the next best thing.
And that is thing. That is also what you said. You will move to the next thing and you get that whole FOMO effect. And I think in the world that we live now, you see so many opportunities, and they're all real, right? You can make money with AI, and you can make money with crypto, dropshipping, flipping houses, Airbnb, renting out. There are a lot of ways of making money. And you see people just changing within a month to a different business model. What I tell a lot of people, and I don't know if I told you, but you will definitely tell your students, is trust the process. But what does it really mean for you, for example? What does trusting the process mean?
Trusting the process. This is a very good question, man. Trusting the process for me personally means like, it means having 100% conviction.
Yeah.
And like, I really use the word conviction over the word belief. Because many people use the word, you need to believe that it's possible. But like, what does belief truly mean? You don't say like, belief means like there's still like a little bit of doubt. Because you don't say, I believe when I drop my phone now, I believe it will fall to the ground. You would be like, I know it's going to fall on the ground because of gravity. I don't believe it. I know it. You don't believe that when you turn off the switches of the lights, that it's going to turn off. You know it's going to turn off. So for me, I say always like, don't believe that it's going to work out. Know that it's going to work out. And you're only going to know it if you see yourself winning already in your mind.
Manifesting it.
Yeah, manifesting it basically before you actually see it with your eyes. So this is like what trusting the process means for me. So when I started Ecom, without having any history in Ecom, without having any big knowledge of Shopify or so, I knew immediately when I'm gonna start with e-commerce, I'm gonna crush it. I knew it.
That is the way you need to enter everything that you.
Yes.
If it's a marriage, is it a partnership with a business partner? Is it a business model? You need to know that you will succeed, because otherwise you will not succeed. It's all your mindset going into a project or going into a relationship or whatever the thing is. Because manifesting things in real life, it gave me everything. Everything that we have right now, or the things that I doing, it's all by manifesting it. I first of all know that I will have it or will do it, and then it shows up in my reality. And it's all, and that's the thing. The moment you will start doing it, and that's for everyone who's listening. The moment you start doing it, all the pieces of the puzzle will fit together. And they will fall into place. And I spoke with so many people, and they all say the same thing. The moment they start manifesting it and start knowing it will become reality, it all falls into place. And it's the most beautiful thing ever, because you're in peace with yourself. You're in total peace because you know it will work out. And even if you're in debt or whatsoever, or in the worst situation ever with your girlfriend or whatever the thing is, if you know you will come out of it stronger, you're in peace. And from that position, it's so much easier to make steps or to make choices or to move forward than from an emotion of anger, of pain. Nothing good will come out of that one.
100%. And I can, you basically sum it up perfectly, because like I see that also like with the students that I'm coaching, that like whether somebody is successful or not in the coaching program, for example, of course, sometimes it is depending on the market. It is depending on like what product that you're selling. But these are really like something you can change. You can switch a market. You can switch the product. So these are not really the main reason somebody fails or not. It is really like how convinced are you that it's going to work? Because then you see like two different types of students. The students who after 1 week or 2 weeks of testing that didn't get results, they're already very low in mindset, and they barely text you. They don't schedule calls anymore. They don't test anymore. And then you have the students who are like, they are just like a Ferrari on the left lane. They just go for it, right? Regardless, because they know like it's going to work out. They're like, hey, I trust the process. I trust my coach. I don't know if it's going to be in my first 2 weeks or my first month or even the last month. These are like word differences between like the students or people who succeed or not. It is all a matter of like they see themselves already in their mind winning. So they don't get like, I would say, destroyed or distracted from like the numbers that they're experiencing in a moment. Right. And that's why like the moment you are really in faith or like in conviction of like manifestation, you don't ask the questions anymore about like, when will it happen? Right. Because like the when does not matter, because you know it will happen. And I rather think not of when will it happen, but more like, how can I be in alignment with the version that already achieved it? And then you already start thinking like of growth the whole time. Because when, for example, one day something doesn't work out, you don't get frustrated. You're just like, okay, I just need to work a little bit smarter. So it already pushes you to like be in a growth mindset, which automatically either in the short run or the long run leads to your desired outcome.
100% agree. In the end, we all live in abundance. It's only the mindset that you need to create. Because everything is already here. Everything is already created. If it's the goal you want to have, the car you want to drive, the house you want to own, or the success you want to achieve, it's already there. You just need to get it into your mind. You need to set your mind to the right, to the right frequency to be more into depth, and then it will work out. And then everything will, like I said, feel so peaceful, and then you know you're on the right path. And it sounds like belief, but it's not belief. It's like you said already. But I think this is why most people fail.
Yeah.
I truly think that most people stop a business, a school, a relationship. It's all because of the mindset. It's all because of they live in emotion instead of living in abundance. It's a completely different world that you then live in, because everything is beautiful in abundance.
Yeah.
And everything is so difficult in fear or anger.
Yeah.
It's a completely different world.
Yeah. It's really it's the only thing that needs to be changed is perspective.
Yeah.
If you can perceive something differently, I know it sounds always so cliche.
Yeah, but nobody knows it.
Yeah, I know, nobody knows it. It sounds so cliche, or it sounds always like, this is like not real. But like, for example, a small thing is like these examples that people say, like, is the glass half full or is it half empty? It truly says a lot about like how you perceive the world, depending on the answer that you choose.
Yeah.
Do you say it is half empty? Then you see lack. Do you see it as half full? Then you see abundance. And this is how you perceive life at all, as a whole, right? So like when you are able to change your perception of something and you see, as you said, like the word abundance, I love this word, abundance, because everything is abundant. Like, and if you can see abundance in anything, you can also attract it in everything, basically.
Yeah, true.
And so it's really about like, also like thinking of like the students who don't succeed. Another thing that apart from like I would say mindset of like, being convinced it's gonna work, it's also like the position you start with. Because what I mean with that is like, do you already start like this whole path, the journey of, for example, entrepreneurship out of scarcity, or do you start already out of abundance? What do I mean with that? There are people out there who really want badly to succeed. They are like, I want to succeed, for example, with Ecom. I want to do it with dropshipping whatsoever, but they are doing it because of they are broke. They're like, okay, I need now to make money in these 90 days or in the next 30 days. Otherwise, I'm gonna get kicked out, right? And that's why they're like, I need to make it work. If this is how you start, you fail already. Because whatever you do out of scarcity, out of lack, you will just attract more lack and scarcity. You will not be able to see above like any obstacle of a situation when you're always like on the low. But when you are like somebody who is like, I don't care, right? I know it's gonna work, but as I said already, like, I don't care about when it's gonna work, but I know it's gonna work. Exactly. Then it's gonna be a completely different approach. So for anyone, this is like really an advice that I can give anyone. Whatever like goal you have, never have the goal out of scarcity. Never, for example, join a relationship. I have a relationship because you think like, oh, if I'm not with the person, then I'm not gonna be with anyone.
Exactly.
I'm gonna marry this person because like otherwise I'm not gonna find anyone, right?
Exactly.
Why do most relationships fail? Because like this is how people think. They're like, I'm just gonna marry this partner because I'm already like 30. Or
what
whatever.
Else?
Yeah. Like if I don't marry that person now, then like, I'm not gonna find anyone. These marriages always fail.
Yeah.
same with business, same with like anything in life. So it's always a matter of like, do you do something out of scarcity mindset or of abundance mindset? And that's really gonna determine whether you're gonna succeed or not.
And the way you do that, because it's so valuable, but nobody knows how you do that. And it is one thing, you can choose what you think.
Yeah.
And that people they don't know it.
Yeah.
They just think and nothing more. They just think. But that is not, you can choose what you think. And you can also choose not to think certain things. And that is really the approach, how you create abundance and how you create belief and know that you will succeed. It's not that you every day know that you are gonna have a success. No, you choose to believe that you know you have the success. And if everyone just implemented that one, it's all good. Whatever the thing is you do, if you choose it, it's all good.
Yeah.
But nobody, it's not being taught. That's also a thing. And I think that's what I think we are doing so much better than other businesses or other companies or whatsoever. We try to give the knowledge, right? We try to give also that knowledge. It's not only just a strategy. Hey, we need to set up the CBO, or we need to set up creatives, or that is the way you scale. No, it's the way you think. That is maybe more important than the whole strategy behind the business itself.
Yeah.
Because with the right knowledge and the right mindset and the right thinking patterns, everything will be a success.
Yeah.
If it's buying a dream car, having a relationship, or creating the next Amazon, you can do it. You can just do it.
Exactly. That's why it's so, what I also mentioned earlier, that's why like the network, for example, is so important.
Yeah.
How many people are you surrounded with that think?
Who are the people?
Yeah, exactly.
Who
are the people?
You read sometimes the 10 friends around you is the average that you will become. But it is so true. If your average friends are people who are sitting in a bar drinking beer every single weekend, you will be the next one, right? But if your friends are all successful, driving cool cars, having big success, good relationships, a beautiful family around them, you will have it also.
Yeah.
And I think to come a little bit more to results and success is really not the goal, or really not having the business or the employees, the car, the house, or whatever, or the boat, the Dubai, whatever the thing is. No, it's the whole journey behind it.
Yeah.
That's really success. Knowing where you were and knowing where you are right now and looking back to it, that's real success.
Yeah.
And seeing that every single day, if it's a good day or a less good day, you still put in the work. You still see things change in real time. Maybe your mother is financial free. Maybe your employee is happy because she can buy a home right now because you are having a place where she has a salary, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
But that's, in my opinion, the definition to success. And to be honest, bro, it is so much nicer to see people around you being happy than to have the car or to have the first class trip to whatever the thing is, to rent out a beautiful villa. Of course, these things are nice and you need to experience it, but seeing your mother happy or seeing your girlfriend happy, it's so much more worth than the end goal.
Yeah.
And if you have the end goal, a car or a trip or whatever the thing is, then I highly recommend everyone to think again, because that's not the goal. The goal is not a car. A car is just metal, right? Of course, it gives you emotion, but it's not the real goal.
Yeah.
The real goal, and it's also not freedom. It's also not, and you see a lot of people saying freedom or money. No, it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
Think bigger. Think more where you want to go with your life. What happens when you die? Right? What did you leave behind? What are the feelings that you have given people? Or what are the thoughts people will have on you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they think back on you or whatever the thing is. That is so much more worth than the car.
You know, about the success aspect, I would even go so far and say like whatever goal anyone has, whether it's like making their mom financially free, whether a car, whether a house, whether a travel, all of these types of things are not really the real goal, what somebody wants. The real goal that anyone has, everyone, is like getting a feeling out of this. Because when I had like this conversation with a friend, like just like this weekend, we talked really long about it. For example, he had like a very specific car that he wanted. A very specific car, which is like, I believe many people can relate to that, having a specific car or a specific house, whatever. I asked him, why do you want this car? And he said like, oh, this was always the car that like I wanted like since I was like a teenager, since like I was a kid. Like this specific, it is like, Lamborghini, I don't know, Aventador. This is like the car that he really wanted. I asked him, why do you want it? And he was like, it's a beautiful car. It looks majestic. It looks like expensive. It's luxurious, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, why specifically do you want a car? Why do you want to have like a luxurious car? Bro, because I'm gonna feel like a boss. And this is where I stopped him. You mentioned so many stuff, like the color, the luxurious car, but what you want is like feeling like a boss. Yeah. So whatever goal that all of us have, we want a certain feeling out of that. You are going to the gym probably like to feel confident.
Of course.
You want to have a lot of money in your bank account to feel
safe. Feel the freedom.
Exactly. Secure. Yeah. And like that's why I say is like you can reverse engineer it. So instead of saying like, in order to feel A, I need to have B, why don't you feel it already and then attract it?
Exactly.
And this is like the thing. This is like for me, and this is in my personal life, this is how I approached it. Because like for me, in my whole life, before like I started Ecom and all of that, I was like, friends would say that about me, the biggest hustler. I was always hustling, having many jobs, side jobs at the site and all of that. And I was always hustling, right? Because I was chasing money. For me, always like my main goal was in my life, money. But then when I noticed like I'm hustling so much and I'm probably working more like than anyone else, like with 3 jobs or so, I still have no money basically. I was like, okay, this cannot be like the solution. It cannot be like working hard and all of that, not only working hard that brings me to success. So I really try to like get in touch with myself and understand like, okay, who am I? Why do I want what I want? And I understood like for me, I want money to feel safe, to feel like secure, to feel like, because I always like, once I have a lot of money, I'm gonna chill a little bit more. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time with my mom and all of that, but I need money first. But then at some point I made the switch and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start feeling now like good enough about myself, right? Still aiming with like achieving, making something out of my life, but I'm already starting spending a little bit of time now with my mom. I'm gonna go out with her with dinner without being like a successful guy. I can tell you that really honestly, this switch in my mind like led me to all of a sudden like discover Ecom. All of a sudden made me discover like my market and the coaching program. And also becoming a coach. That was never something that I always said like in my bucket list. Oh, this is what I want. It happened.
Oh, because all the pieces fill into the puzzle.
As you said.
Everything, because it's all mindset. That's the basic foundations of everything. And like you said, bro, it's all feelings. Everyone is chasing feelings, and the object is just a feeling chase. But you can already have the feeling. And it comes down to the choice.
Yeah.
Choose to feel happy.
Yeah.
Choose to feel like the boss, or like having abundance, or feeling healthy. Because feeling healthy is as important as eating healthy.
Yeah.
It's as important, of course. It works both ways, but it never works only one way.
Yeah.
And it's even like you said, if you are aiming to be rich without feeling rich, you will never have the money.
Exactly.
You need to feel rich to become rich.
Yeah.
And it is with everything. And everyone can learn from it. And we are also far from the best in it. We're still learning every single day how to do it because it's very difficult. Because emotions, they fluctuate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel good. Sometimes you feel shit.
Yeah.
It's just how the world works. But choosing to feel good, choosing to feel happy, to feel wealthy, you will attract everything so much more. And we said it a couple of times, pieces of the puzzle will fall into place, right? But it is really like that. And at a certain point, it will feel like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, it's all abundance.
Yeah.
The whole world we live in is abundance and there's so much possible. But you just need to choose right, think right, act right.
Yeah.
And everything will come to you.
Absolutely. It's about like once you understand this about life, you perceive like life completely different. And this is where it actually
will
start
become fun. Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
This is where you start like seeing life as a video game. And like as any video game, you would feel it's boring if you get like from level 1 to 2 so easily. You just can't be like, it's part of the process.
Trust the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's also the part, right? So yeah, that's like really like about mindset. Like if somebody can get anything out of this, like it's really like, it's not really about, is it ecom that's gonna make me money? Is it gonna be like this scaling method? Is it gonna be this market? That's just with the market, with the mindset.
Yeah.
Once this is in check, everything else will just like also like the puzzle pieces that's gonna like also align. So unfortunately, this is when I would say like also based as a coach, what I'm experiencing, what many people are lacking, and the moment they can make this switch in their mind, this is where life will change. And the beautiful part about this, it can literally happen immediately. It's a choice to make the switch now. It's not about tomorrow. It's not about like next month. It's literally about right now, immediately. You can just be like, I'm changing my perspective.
And it is as easy as that. It's not even difficult.
I know.
You just need to choose.
It's a choice, yeah.
Sick stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, right, when I said, hey, come to the podcast, let's talk a little bit more. Of course, we talk a lot in Zoom, right? We every single week, or twice a week. No, not twice a week. But maybe every single week.
Yeah.
We have a Zoom call and it always goes more into this kind of topics. So I said, hey, come to the podcast. Let's do some real talk.
Yeah.
And that is what we did right here. And I think if we only can change one person's life who will listen to this or view this or whatever, how they will see it, it's all worth it. Because it changed our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is so nice to share it with other people. And if we change somebody's lives after this whole conversations, it's amazing, bro. So, real talk.
Real talk, man.
Thank you.
As usual.
I think with this one, do you have anything else to share, or do you think?
I don't think like I have anything else to share. Like, I mean, what else I can say is like, you just have to understand everything in life is possible. This is also like something about our conversation that I love. Like every time like we ended, like we talk about limitless.
And it
right?
gives so much energy, right?
Yes,
And that is also with the Zoom calls and now also today, right? Every time we stop a conversation, we come out of the conversation with so much more energy to achieve things and to get after goals or to manifest even more, because limitless is really a thing. Everything is limitless. It doesn't mean you don't have obstacles, but they're only obstacles. You need to overcome it. It's part of the whole game, the whole journey.
Exactly. So that's why like anything is possible. What I saw in my life, what you saw in your life, or how things are like developing like within 1 year, within 2 years. It's insane. Like I wouldn't have never imagined that I would be here right now, like 1 year ago, for example, on a podcast on a random Wednesday, being free to just book a ticket, come from Munich here, and now I'm living this life. So like, this is not being said to brag. It's just being said to like, just inspire people, to just show them like anything is possible. The only limits that exist are literally the limits that you set up for yourself. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's basically it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Having me, man. Like usually a great one, man. And then, let's see about like maybe a part 2.
Yeah. Stay tuned for part 2.
Stay tuned, like, good one.
Solid, man.